Sometimes outgunning and outnumbering your adversary is not the only way to achieve a desired outcome in a conflict. Something as simple as a sleight of hand deception can be used to turn the odds in your favor. Over history, dummies and decoys have been used in ways to help swing the balance of power to the side which most cleverly uses deception as part of a winning strategy in military conflicts. One of the first and most effective use of this technique was in World War I. The German Army was the first to develop widespread use of snipers in scoped rifles in World War I. It was very effective in trench warfare, which was in large part the way that war was fought, and greatly increased accuracy and distance capabilities of the shooters. The Germans became very effective at picking off their enemy, as one would peek out of a trench to observe and look for a target of their own. Soldiers in the British military were hit particularly hard by the snipers, and in response developed a countermeasure that was effective in combating the snipers and their long-range scoped rifles. They started producing realistic-looking papier-mâché heads that they would put on the end of a stick and push into the view of the enemy and draw shots from the snipers. With the use of triangulation from the bullet hole in the dummy head or periscopes mounted in the head, the location of the sniper could be fairly accurately determined, allowing for the possibility of a retaliating strike. There was a technique developed to make the dummy heads even more realistic. A tube was put through the bottom of the head and out the mouth. Smoke was then blown through the tube to simulate a soldier smoking a cigarette. All in all, the dummy heads used in World War I were an effective deterrent to snipers and their deadly rifles. There are many other types of deceptive dummies used by the military over the years. Dummy tanks were used in both World War I and World War II, but much more extensively in World War II by both the Allied and Axis forces. The use of dummy tanks was pioneered by British forces in the North African campaign, and eventually a design was developed to fit over a Jeep to make the dummies mobile. During Operation Shingle at Anzio, Italy, inflatable Sherman tanks were utilized to confuse the Germans regarding the location of real tanks. Dummy tanks were also used in France to convince the Germans that the Allied invasion of France would take place at a place other than Normandy. During the modern era, the U.S. Army has developed a dummy tank to imitate the M1 Abrams tank. It not only imitates the M1 Abrams in appearance, but also its heat signature in order to fool infrared detectors. Another advantage for the Army is the minuscule cost of a dummy compared to a real M1 Abrams, $3,300 compared to $4,350,000 for a real M1. Dummy airstrips and aircraft have been used since World War II to confuse the enemy with regard to air power. At times, obsolete and non-military ships have been fitted with fake guns and other military appearances to confuse or at least put doubt in enemy planners' minds. Although probably not considered as a major element of war policy and execution, dummies and decoys have been successfully utilized by military personnel for many decades and will no doubt be used long into the future. If you enjoyed this video, give a thumbs up, make a comment, click on the bell for notifications, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. As always, thanks for watching.